What's up, guys? It's Dr. Keck here at the Sports Pod with Dante. He is an instructor at a lot of places.
Instructor at Neon. I teach cycle at Neon Cycle Strength. I teach athletic training classes at Equinox, and I teach on the Versa Climber at District Climb. And as you see by the shirt, represent the Sports Pod today.
Perfect. So we do have a video on smashing for cyclists. You should find that and do that also. But today we're going to focus on some of the movement stuff that you should be doing as a cyclist. Also, if you're not a cyclist, you should be doing this stuff too. So we're going to start. This is mostly focusing on lower body mobility. We're going to start with a hip car. I'm basically just going to be instructing Dante along, and you guys can follow along at home. So for the hip car, you can find something to keep you nice and balanced here. If you don't have anything like to hold on to at home, you can use a broomstick, something like that, a Swiffer, whatever you want to use. From here, we are going to basically what the point of a car is, if you haven't watched here before, it's a controlled articular rotation. So we're taking a single joint through its entire range of motion, isolating a single joint only. So in this case, that hip, we're isolating the hip. So Dante's going to step up here. So let's start with your left hip, okay? And he's going to start in flexion. So everything is staying nice and tall here. He's going to raise up that leg as high as he can. Good. Bring it out into abduction. Good. Internally rotate. Good. As he brings it back into extension. Good. So that's half. Go ahead and come down. Good. And then from there, he will go the other way. So we'll reverse it and go into extension. And then bring it out into external rotation as he's lifting up, up, up. And down. So we're looking for a nice, smooth movement. And it's okay if you're not right now. That just means we have some work to do. So you might notice there's some ratchetiness. You can't really get through a point. That's totally okay. That just means you need to spend some more time in that area. So, all right, we're going to do...
Talk bad about me.
He's doing just fine. So we're going to do that 4 more times. Good. Good. Internally rotating, bringing out. Cramping is completely normal. That's your brain's way of telling you, like, what are you doing? You've never been in this position before. Good. So I'm just holding here because I want to remind him to only move that hip. I don't want a lot of movement coming from this low back. So that's a big compensation. A common compensation in a hip car is to get more mobility or look like you have more mobility by using your low back. So when he gets to that position, I'll give you an example. I'm going to use the belly button flashlight one too, but this is what I'm talking about for the low back. So see how it would be easy for him, go back into extension and like really arch your back. Yeah. So he like it looks like he has crazy extension, but really that's all coming from his lumbar spine. We don't want that. Cool. Continue. So the belly button thing. So I like to say that your belly button is a flashlight, and in pretty much all the exercises that we do, that flashlight should always be pointing straight in front of you. It should never be out to the side. So that's a good cue for this as well, because your low back, your torso will want to move in order to compensate for your hips. How's it feeling? Good. Good. Perfect. Switch sides. Perfect. Yeah, just turn around. I think we're still good. Yeah. So he's gonna do the same thing. We're doing 5 on each side. Good. It's important to kind of also really note those points where you're kind of sticky at, because that just means you need to spend more time in those spots. So eventually, after Dante does these every single day for a month, it should be a nice fluid motion, but you should always be striving for that deeper range of motion. So if you get to the point where it's like, this is super easy, it's not really working at all, you should be like trying to increase that range of motion even more. I like to say that motion is lotion, and this motion is the perfect way to just like lotion that hip joint. any car, really. You're just lotioning that joint, whatever joint it may be. In this case, the hip. It's also normal to have completely like 2 different hip cars from side to side. One is gonna feel super easy. The other one, you're like, what am I even doing with this hip? That's okay, that's normal. Good. And up. Good. Is that 4 or 5? I think we're good. Okay, cool. That is the hip car. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna go basically just down the line. We're gonna go to knee cars. So we are going to sit here, holding here, and our goal here is to get that lotion into that knee joint. So we don't have a lot, so we have a lot of extension flexion. That's what you think about when you think about using your knee, but there actually is a little bit of rotation. So that's what we're gonna try to get that lotion into today, okay? So, go ahead. Perfect, so whatever one you wanna start with. Yep, so we are going to, perfect. So basically to internally and externally or rotate both ways that tibia, so this bone here, on your femur, you can do that by moving your ankle. So inverting, everting, that ankle is going to move that tibia, okay? So what we're gonna do is start out in external rotation, straighten the leg. So go into external rotation, straighten that leg, go to internal rotation, and down. So that's halfway. And then keep an internal rotation, come on up, externally rotate the foot, and down. That's 1, let's get 5. Good, keep it in external, straighten, internally rotate, and down. Keep it that way, good. So this is the pattern that I like to use when I'm doing this, but again, it doesn't really matter as long as you're moving that knee. So if you like to do something different with the external internal rotation, go for it. There's not a ton of movement either as far as the rotation goes. So you might not even feel it at all. That's okay, we're still moving it. Good. Perfect. Good. Switch sides. Same thing. So I talked about this in our last video that we did for cyclists, all the smashing. We get a lot of questions of like, when is the best time to do all this mobility work? And I think the answer is just yes, because all of the time is a good time to work on your mobility. So I think that it's important to smash like right after you get a good workout in, whether it's cycling or running or anything like that. It's important to smash right after that. It kind of doesn't allow those muscles to get fatigued and keeps them healthy, doesn't let them go into that inhibited state. As far as mobility goes, I also think if we're talking about cars, I think it's important to do it before as like just getting that joint warmed up. So getting the hip moving, getting the knee moving, just in its range of motion that you have already before a workout. But I also think it's important after a workout to really use that as almost like an opportunity to strengthen, to get into those deeper ranges of motion. So again, the answer is just yes, all the time. Perfect. Okay, moving down the line, we're gonna stay in this position, but we're gonna focus on that ankle. So when we are doing an ankle car, We hold here. So we're basically trying to, because we don't want anything else to move right now. We're just focusing on the ankle. So we're gonna hold it here. Ankle goes into dorsiflexion, around, that's half. And then we go back around the other way. Whew, mine are pretty cranky. Alrighty, again, 5 each way. I actually think that ankle cars feel fantastic. And around. They might feel crampy too. We kind of neglect our feet as a whole. So this is just a great way to, again, lotion that joint, that ankle joint. We're on our feet all day. Like, this is good for not just cyclers. This is good for everybody. In the last video Dante and I did, the air wasn't on. And it was really, really warm. So this feels fantastic. How's it feel?
It's lotioning.
It's lotioning, yeah. Good. Awesome. Other side. Yes. We could all use some lotion in the ankles. And again, if you find a different pattern that you like better, I don't care. We're just trying to get in that entire range of motion each way. I don't know if you can see Dante's foot, but it's a little shaky. That's totally normal. Again, it should eventually be a nice fluid motion, nice and controlled, but we just gotta get there. Woo! Okay, so we have done lots of cars. We've done hips, knees, now ankles. We're gonna move on to some passive stretching. So, well, the first one is a passive stretch. So, we are going to do our couch stretch. So what Dante's going to do is, good. Yep, he's gonna put his leg against here. I think I'm actually gonna sit on it so it doesn't go anywhere. And then from here, good, Dante's leg is up. The closer he gets to this box, the harder this is going to be. Important things that we need to focus on here. His belly button flashlight is facing straight forward, his hips are square, and his butt is tucked under just a little bit. Good. What that tuck under of the butt is gonna do is really get that lumbar spine in the position we want it to, and not in an excessive extension. From here, he's going to lean his hips forward from here, and he should feel a nice stretch through that front line here, really getting a stretch in that psoas, also that rectus femoris, opening it up here. Really great for cyclers. We talked about this in the last video. Cyclers are constantly here using that hip flexor. So we are going to do this for 2 minutes. That's our magic number. And then we will go on. How's this feel?
Feels good.
Good. Yeah, this one, yes. He asked if he can get deeper. Absolutely, but you can't sacrifice form. So if getting deeper means that you're going to hunch in your low back or unsquare your hips, the answer is no. But in Dante's case, yeah, please do. So I'm gonna show you guys out there, I don't want you to do this. I'm gonna show you what's bad. If he's opening up here like this, he can go way further, but that extension's really not coming from his hip, it's coming from his low back. We don't want that. Another bad thing would be to open up like this as he goes forward. Anybody can go all the way down like that. Not good. I think that's, yeah, and then you just want to keep your chest up. We don't want to be lean forward like this. And then we just hold. Yes, and then the closer this foot is to whatever object you're using, the more difficult it's gonna be. 30 more seconds. So we talked about this in the last video we made, but Dante is going to run 100 miles in the month of May. So if you want to follow along with that, yes, wish him luck. He's not a runner. I should have said that too. Like, this is new. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. And same thing, other side. Good. Good. So chest is nice and tall, hips are nice and square, butt's tucked under, and then he drives forward. Good. Last week I had like this thought that maybe I should run this marathon in December, but that thought left already. So I don't think I'm going to. Maybe the half, I'm gonna do the half no matter what, but a full, just a half.
Oh.
Yeah, I've done the half. This will be my fourth one maybe. So I just had this like little thought that I'm like, ooh, it could be fun to do the full. I need some convincing. It sounds like a good idea, but like, I just feel like that's so much training. Yeah, I get bored. Okay, we're about halfway there. I would think the halfway mark is a good time to check in on your form, check in on if you need to go deeper. Are you really in the deepest stretch that you can be in? Do you need to go a little bit further? Challenge yourself. So the couch stretch you're gonna wanna do definitely right after cycling as well, because like I said, you're sitting in that inhibited position of that psoas while really using it. So you wanna really get in there and open it up after you've been using it. 15 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. Okay, so that is our couch stretch. The next one we are going to do is our hurdlers stretch. So what we're going to do, we've talked about this before if you've been following along with us at all. We have what we call a 90-90. So what we're gonna do is getting into, I'm in a 90-90 position with my back leg. My front leg is going to be out in front of me. From here, you can bend it just a little bit. That's gonna take some tension off of that sciatic nerve. Or you can straighten it out, whatever feels best for you. From there, you're going to be nice and tall, hinging forward at those hips. All right, are you ready, Dante? Good, so front leg out in front, this back leg in this 90-90 position, moving it out just a little bit. Ooh, okay, he said ooh. From here, his chest is gonna be nice and tall, and then he's going to hinge forward at his hip.
With my hand.
You can use them, actually, do you need this block? I'll help you out. Good, so if you need a block to help you, by all means, use a block. But we're making sure that that back is nice and flat, and we're hinging at those hips. Good. As you can see, this is a pretty difficult one. So you should feel the stretch in that hamstring, really just that posterior chain, really focusing on keeping that back nice and flat. We don't want to start that hunch of the low back. So, and then we're just going to hold. If this is like super easy for you and you need more of a challenge, the block that he's using for his hand, you can place underneath your foot and use that to elevate that foot just a little bit more as you're actively trying to get deeper. Good. Where do you feel it? Good.
And
yeah. Dante needs it all.
absolutely.
Yes. So in the leg, if you're feeling more of like a kind of a zingy pain, you're probably really putting tension on that sciatic nerve. bend that knee just a little bit and it will put more tension on that hamstring. Yeah. The zingy feeling isn't very comfortable. 30 seconds. Again, a lot of times with these stretches, you're really going to feel a difference between one side and the other. That's okay. It's normal to not be symmetric. Okay, we have about 10 seconds left. Good. Other side. Okay, so this is gonna be good because you guys can see how the other leg goes. So, we're kind of in a modified 90-90 position. We wanna get this to as close to 90 degrees as we can. As you can see, we're a little limited with that. Okay, and he has the block here to help him. So he's going to use the block here, yeah, to keep that chest nice and tall. And I think for this one, Dante's perfect, just sitting there just like that, okay? But if you're not, if you need more, hinging forward at that hip. What do I mean by hinge? I mean shooting your butt back instead of doing this. We don't want any hunchy backs like this, no hunchback. Chest tall, leaning forward. If that's still too easy, put that block underneath that leg, and that will make this even more difficult. But we're just gonna chill here for Dante. I think we should send Dante some more hip mobility videos. This is also the end of this, so we've done a lot. But I think he knows his homework. Okay, we have about 1 minute left. Again, check in with yourself. Can you go more? Do you need less? Do you need to correct your form in any way? Are you hunching in the back? This is a really great position too to focus on. We kind of talked about how cyclers, a lot of times they'll be on the bike reaching for their handlebars like this. Makes me crazy. You should be hinging at the hips, sitting back in the hips here. Nice flat back. This is a perfect place to practice that here. Hinging at those hips, shooting the hips back, no hunchbacks. All right, we're in our last 20 seconds. Really push, keeping that chest nice and tall, no hunchbacks. Again, bending that knee a little bit if you need to, that's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay. Okay, so we have done a lot here today. If you have any questions about anything that we did in this video or something else, you can DM us on Instagram at The Sports Pod. You can also book an appointment with us online at www.thesportspod.co. You can find me personally on Instagram at Dr. KECK or Dr. Kayla KECK, and you can find Dante on Instagram
at Kisan259, Kisan 259.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about the classes he teaches or anything like that, shoot him a DM. Thanks for moving with us today. Have a good one.